There are two ways of looking at what happened. There is the truth about what happened, and then there's the deal, which is the fait accompli. I'll talk about this sale of hate that they accomplished, seemingly effortlessly because of the cabal at Carnegie Mellon University, who were really into sticking it to me. Um, and the sale of hate, a line from Oliver Stone's JFK comes to mind with some recurrence. Garrison, who's Kevin, what's his name? Costner, is meeting Donald Sutherland, or X. This Donald dude called himself X. And he says, they'd have killed you already, only you have a lot of light on you. So they're trying to discredit you, and they already have in important circles of this town. What happened was that you have too much light on you. See, when I hitchhiked from Pittsburgh to St. Louis, it was, to be very, very honest, for no great reason other than to hear King Crimson's guitarist play his act. It was a human contact tour. And I missed it because some dumb Donald told me the wrong date in Pittsburgh. So I hitchhiked to St. Louis. Checked him out, said hello, and goodbye. It was just a gesture, you know, of admiration. There was nothing more to it than that. But it got turned into hostile civics. And it cemented my sense about Jimmy Carter, for example, because he gave what G. Gordon Liddy called his Easter Bunny speech. I watched it in an East St. Louis motel late at night. Evidently, this made a different honor idea. See, they were setting me up. Whoever you consider to have been inside circle, John Schulman, Gail Burst, and Leslie Katz, and they want me to accept the idea that Fripp was just receiving their wisdom about me. And he was sending out these apparatchiks to confirm the signal that had been sent to them. You know, he was all of these mystical leverages were used. You know, he made snide comments about mature men with erections, dropping his pick. It was a blinking neurohypnotic idea, the rapid eye movement interrogation, which was clearly all planned all along. But he claims there was a lot of light on me, so it got exotic. And the huge shark, the big shark, the one who was working with William F. Buckley and Ronald Reagan and Toon, the one who had the Peter de Vries, Brian Eno, manicuring his toes, with David Bowie. And Bowie worked with Smuggy Penis Gabriel. And they had already more or less doctored the books to get to this idea of an idiom nomenklatura. Now, Nomenclatura is a word generally associated with the Russians. It's a nomenclature. It's a group of esteemed, sometimes it's used in the avant-garde circles. Like the Samizdat movement or Charter 77 would probably qualify as a nomenclature. I'm not really sure. I don't use that sort of word all that often. But the party advances to people who are considered appropriate service, the nomenclature. The idiom nomenclature was where do you idiom Jimmy Creary, who could have saved John Lennon, look, he's the walrus. And they had me climbing ropes into dressing rooms to get autographs for a girl that the star makes off with. To impress a girl who the star makes off with, leaving him speechless. And they had me at Mel Gibson's whip on the 39 lashes, penis Bowie saying, "We don't want to be changed," when he advocated for Caligula in Bosnia and the expansion of NATO and weapons of mass destruction and soon to be another ice age. And virginity proves right. And all the other irregularities in their melon cosmic meditation and mysticism. They are slovenly consistent. Like they get this idea. I got a good idea. Since we're violent pedos, why don't we accuse Creary of being a violent pedo? And it's the sniveling, snot-ridden gobbledygook of Ringo Starr at work behind the scenes. He's the what you would call the ISIS warrior who overthrew the man behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz in a terrorist coup d'etat. And he needs me as the whipping boy to show that Kennedy's could never have accomplished what the great Toon has accomplished. And they told all the black guys with AIDS, you will get a white and crucify him so good you'll be putting straws in his ears to drink the blood. And they found these people who helped them poison me in the mouth, who helped them build momentum to crucify Gaza. They found me in the lunchroom. They're like, yeah, that's what we are. That's what we're going to do, queer ball. I tried to get a mandamus out of the state of Washington, and they just said, well, we don't want to give you a mandamus. You can't report this kind of thing to anybody. It's like the drones in the sky in New Jersey. The FBI did one of these. They're in the corner in the dunce cap. And Penis Gabriel puts out the passion, and drinks the blood of Creary with his album Us. And he gets me a girl and then takes her away. Oh, he's so neat and generous. And we're supposed to tolerate that as Section 8 elderly. No, they'll send a spy. You'll get a second virgin and AIDS, queer ball. This is their mechanism. Their idiom nomenklatura. Pins in on him. He goes, oh, we're going to ban the Church of Satan. Does that mean he's going to take apart his nuclear bombs? I mean, it's a huge retardation operation. It's clear the resolution I would would be to say we should have warned people. We shouldn't have gotten carried away with make believe about somebody who was just a fan after all. That we shouldn't have pretended that he couldn't finish school at the top of his class. We shouldn't have lied to him about the neuroplasm. We should not have raped his deaf girlfriend and made him leave her. We shouldn't be terrorizing him by threatening the people who he still has some attachment to. What we should do is give him a house in Olympia and enough money for adult nursing care, visits daily at home, and leave him alone so that he can just do his work. Because we have disappointed him so bitterly is what we should do. That's the resolution that I think is appropriate. Instead, they want to fulfill their genocide peep. They want Robert Kennedy to come and say, you need to cross the bridge of forgiveness too. So, accusing me of something that I didn't know anything about and which never even really happened because of their Truman Show production. Why did they call Jim Carrey, right? The Truman Show is because Truman had a complex of sorts. He was the one who made the decision to use the Zook against Japan. I didn't do that. Harry S. Truman. My mother characterized me as being from the same racial stock as Harry S. Truman. But, plain speaking Midwesterner. But I find it unlikely I would. I'm not disavowing. The Navy made the decision to force me to grovel and apologize to the croquet reguster. So that's done. But Truman also respected the privacy of the 9-to-5 government official. Now, a guy called himself Reagan, his real name is Tom Selleck. On NYPD Blue Bloods, it's a relatively interesting drama about cops. He has a guy in his administration who turns out to be doing bondage with dominatrixes at night, right? And he embarrasses the department because some films leak. And it's a person you would never suspect of being kinky. Well, Hoover used to flood Truman's desk after hours with tawdry tales about 9-to-5 people. Truman was like, it's not none of that, it's any of my affair. It's none of my affair. So they use peep, ultimate peep. Ultimate peep. Where everybody knows he's being spied on and nobody gives him any indication. He's the only person in the dark about it. And this is how they punish the walrus. Everybody's got something to hide but me and my monkey, says the muse of the operation. And it's supposed to be a mystical, transcendental thing about the human image and the human self-image. I am me or you incorporated inside. Am I someone else? And Pete Hamill drills on this stuff. Gweener's pathetic wee Brian Eno's like, no one is receiving, and I'm the no one, he's implying, I know, I'm the one who knows. It's just, and they even have one of these really psychotic pigpen weirdos. He called himself Frank Zappa, characterizing the whole thing as a lampoon, calling it cosmic debris. Purple pipers playing their songs, brown owl hoots and you know, serenades, and the deeply devious minstrels with this cunning from, remember when they put out that movie No Time to Die, right at the beginning of COVID, and it was like this really like weird guy with like bioweapons. How can anybody forget that or forgive them for this, for such a um, hatchet job on our, after, you know, scaring, not only scaring seniors but killing them? How can anybody bear them? They're just an entertainment mafia, and we're supposed to believe what they say, not even look at the fact that the postal union knew that I was getting tons of letters, that the adults were in and out of the house, could see me trembling and crying and hiding in the closet. It's buzzardly doofusism, but it's dominated by this idea that there's an idiom nomenclatura for queer will to rise to the status of someone who's allowed to be left alone. He must pull the sword from the stone of group hatred, that and forgive all the abuses, some of which are so sad and disgusting. I've chosen to forget them. I'll tell you this because it's important for this to be on record. I remember the day my love for Midori Goto died. It was after they murdered Shannon Harps. And it just went fizzled, gone. It was gone. One of the most powerful feelings I've ever had, just gone. You know, that should be good enough, you know, for somebody who I showed genuine human sympathy on a human contact tour. He should stop it. He doesn't know when to leave somebody who he's deceived and abused alone. He should just stop it. They have this song called "I Don't Know How to Stop," and I think that that's true about them. They can't grasp the idea that they've done something wrong and should stop it. You know, and you know, when you look at Gaza, you can see that they're a snarling brigand mania of some sort of anti-culture, just going after people because they're weak, because they smell blood. And they call themselves things like Amnesty International. That's the office these people were operating from in England, Amnesty International. And apparently Amnesty International's idiom nomenklatura requires that I sit and twiddle my thumbs while my deaf girlfriend is raped to prove I'm nonviolence personified. And then they go, that's not Lenin. That's not Lenin. It's a practical joke at best.